so much, Ranking Member Raskin. I think the Ranking Member stated it completely. What we just witnessed over the last hour was, I think, a deep-sea fishing expedition, because the Republican case has completely fallen apart over the last several weeks. After it's been exposed that the critical, one of their most key pieces of information was based on a source that was in communication with Russian intelligence. They are now trying to scramble to find anything to substantiate their fairy tale, is what we should call this. But I think more disturbingly, what we are seeing is just a complete and inappropriate expedition into the president's son, and for matters and subjects that are completely unrelated to an impeachment investigation. And I think it is extremely disturbing to see the lack of professionalism, the lack of grounding, and the abuse of public resources and abuse of public power in order to pursue something that truly, whose point at this juncture is very unclear. And with that, I hand it.
Good morning, everybody. The constitutional standard for impeachment is treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. We're still waiting for our Republican friends to articulate what they think the high crime and misdemeanor is. In this case, we have gotten extremely far afield from the constitutional standard. Nobody can state on their side what they think Joe Biden did, even as a private citizen, that would constitute some kind of criminal offense. Their most recent star witness, Alexander Smirnov, is now in jail, being held as a flight risk after being indicted by the special counsel who was named by Donald Trump, David Weiss, for lying to the FBI and creating a false documentary record. So this has been a comedy of errors from the beginning. All of the revelations that are in the legal pleadings filed by David Weiss now give a very strong whiff of a Russian intelligence operation. And so I think that our colleagues would do best at this point to fold up the circus tent and allow us to focus on something that would actually be of benefit to the American people.
Is there anything you're particularly interested in hearing from Hunter Biden today?
Well, every other witness that we've spoken to has confirmed this basic conclusion, that Joe Biden was not involved in Hunter Biden's business ventures. He did not profit from Hunter Biden's business ventures, and he rendered no official favors or benefits to Hunter Biden's business ventures. So I hope that we will test those propositions, and if we are satisfied that he and the dozen other witnesses we've spoken to are telling a coherent and credible story, then this thing is over.
2 months ago, Hunter Biden said that he would testify in public in front of cameras. Where are you on that now? Would you go back to that?
Well, the majority's already rejected that, so this is where we are.
For today, though, do you think they're still rejecting?
No, again, I think that this investigation is over at this point. There's really nothing left to pursue. But Hunter Biden cheerfully volunteered to go before the whole world, and our colleagues on the Republican side did not want that. They wanted today's behind a closed door proceeding, and that's what we're doing now. Yep. Yes, there's always a promise of more evidence. I remember when Gal Luft was the star witness who was going to produce the bombshell revelations. He's now on the lam being searched for by the U.S. government for his crimes. The most recent witness to implode is, of course, Alexander Smirnov, who started the whole thing with the false allegation that Burisma had given $10 million in illegal bribes to Joe Biden and to Hunter Biden, and now that has proven to be just a specimen of classic Russian disinformation and propaganda, according to David Weiss, who Donald Trump had appointed U.S. attorney and is the special counsel in the Hunter Biden case. Look, let's remember, there's an entire special counsel appointed just to deal with Hunter Biden and his tax charges and his gun charges. And so all of this is a complete sideshow. If somebody thinks that there is some high crime or misdemeanor relating to Joe Biden, they should tell us what it is. But so far, we haven't heard anything. Sir.
President Trump was impeached twice. From just general view overseas, it's very surprising. It seems like there were two standards. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure I followed the question, but
President Trump was impeached twice.
yes.
And this impeachment is much more complicated. It seems like there's two separate systems for those who are watching from overseas.
Yeah. Impeachments, like criminal prosecutions, follow people's criminal conduct. Donald Trump incited a violent insurrection and an attempt to overthrow a presidential election. And he was impeached by the House of Representatives in a bipartisan impeachment, and there was a 57-43 vote in the Senate to convict him. Now, he escaped conviction by 10 votes. He beat the constitutional spread of a two-thirds majority, but there were commanding bipartisan bicameral majorities defining as a constitutional fact that he'd engaged in an insurrection against the 2020 presidential election. He didn't accept, and to this day he does not accept, the fact that Joe Biden beat him by more than 7 million votes, 306 to 232 in the Electoral College. And so this absurd impeachment investigation is just a continuation of Donald Trump's refusal to accept the results of the 2020 presidential election. And I think everybody can understand that for what it is. Remember, there were 60 federal and state court decisions rejecting every claim of electoral fraud and corruption that were advanced by Donald Trump and the Republicans after that election. And yet still, election denialism is at the heart of Donald Trump's political program and also at the heart of this attack on President Biden today. So it's a shameful spectacle, I think.
What do you have to say about the recent interview of Jason Galanis, who was interviewed by the committee?
Yeah.
The president was on the phone with the former mayor of Moscow, Missouri.
Yeah, I haven't seen any documents on that, but this is the convicted felon who's in prison who they went to see. He's another star witness in the lineup of, alleged felons and fugitives who make up the lineup for the Republicans. That's right. I don't know. I haven't seen any documentation on that. I'm happy to look at it. But again, nobody can tell us what is the high crime or misdemeanor. We told them, sir, that Donald Trump incited a violent insurrection, and we mobilized all of the public evidence. And then there was all kinds of evidence that came out later in the bipartisan January 6th committee that documented exactly what Donald Trump had done. What did Joe Biden do? Nobody can tell us.
One of the biggest revelations from the Devin Archer testimony was that Joe Biden spoke with Hunter Biden's business partner on speakerphone multiple times. Now, he said they didn't talk about business, but do you think that's appropriate that then Vice President Biden was speaking with his son's business partners, and you expect to ask him about that at all today?
Well, first of all, the standard, of course, for impeachment is not what I think is appropriate or not appropriate. The standard for impeachment is high crimes and misdemeanors, felony offenses, major public offenses against the public good. So you're talking about a time when Joe Biden was a private citizen. Hunter Biden's always been a private citizen. And my Republican colleagues are the last ones to try to do anything about lobbying and the culture of political influence in Washington. If you want to have serious hearings about that, let's have serious hearings about that. I've urged Chairman Comer for us to have a serious hearing about rampant violations of the foreign and domestic emoluments clauses during the Trump administration. We released a report last year documenting with receipts nearly $8 million that Donald Trump collected while he was in office from China, including CEFC, from Saudi Arabia, from United Arab Emirates, and from other foreign governments. That raises a profound problem. Hunter Biden has never been in office. And during the whole time that they're focused on this investigation, Joe Biden wasn't in office. He had finished his term as vice president, and he had not announced any plans to run for president yet. So it is a wild goose chase related to the actions of private citizens. All right. Thank you very much.